Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Let's go to massprivateeye.blogspot.com. They say the Justice Department is claiming that increasing traffic stops by 56% is going to lower crimes. Oh yeah. You know, in the short run, you may see a albeit brief drop in crime. That's before the riots set in, because this is crazy. It says in what can be best described as government-sanctioned theft, or I like to coin it taxation by citation. Our justice system has devised a new way to take money and liberties from minorities. Police are using traffic citations, of course, to help balance their budgets more and more, especially the court system. The court systems are almost entirely funded by traffic stops and by other fines that municipalities dole out. One thing that was very interesting in the killings in Missouri and the riots that happened soon after was the focus that was put on how debtors' prisons have actually sprung back up here in America. And although you wouldn't necessarily call them debtors' prisons, that's effectively what they are. And basically it is, you have minorities and low-income people that get fined, whether it be for a traffic stop or any sort of fine that's out there, and they can't pay it. So it ends up collecting interest. Eventually, these people get put in jail for not paying their fines, and they don't leave until their fines are paid. Well, some of them have been in jail for years because they can't pay the fines. And it's just an unbelievable thing that's happening here in this country. One of those things that fly below the radar. And the other thing that it found was that there were some municipalities in Missouri that were funding up to 60%, if not more, of their city operations from citations, from fines. I mean, that is how addicted to taxation by citation government is. And think about it. Everything government does, it does by force. There is nothing that government does that isn't done by force. A lot of people can argue that fact, but the fact is that they do everything by force, oftentimes against our will. Now listen to this. According to an article by Fox 6, this is out of Milwaukee. Milwaukee law enforcement claims that increasing the traffic stops by 56% resulted in a reduction in violent crime. They say citywide crime has declined, including non-fatal shootings, by 29%, robberies down 9%, and motor vehicle theft down 25%. Citywide crashes, they say, have declined 6%, and traffic stops have increased 56%. Traffic stops resulted in citations being increased 111%, and crashes have declined 12%, they say. Law enforcement also claims that increasing traffic stops by 136% has seemed to get the public's attention. Yeah, you better be careful about what kind of attention, Chief Ed Flynn, that you garner from the public, especially when you start harassing them in this way. According to the article, it says traffic stops increased 136%, and traffic stops resulting in a citation have increased 885% from 1,090 in 2016 to 10,733 in 2017. Now, ticketing and spying on motorists is much worse than, of course, anybody can imagine, because, quite often we experience life through our sphere of observation and basically our life experience. And most of us typically don't get that harassed by police. But what we have noticed, and I'm sure many of you have as well, is over the years you've seen a dramatic increase. I mean, an unbelievable increase in checkpoints, which garner a ton of money. I mean, these things are just a cash cow for municipal law enforcement. 6 months ago, police were stopping 50,000 motorists every day, or 20 million a year. And law enforcement spies on motorists a jaw-dropping 57 different ways. There's 57 different ways that law enforcement spy on you. Now what they do is they get into these contract arrangements with third parties that enforce their property tax on you. You could go to the store and come out with your car booted if you're not up to date on your like excise tax payments or property tax payments, anything like that. And if you continue not to pay it, well, they'll just auction all your property off. Again, everything that government does, it does by force. We are under duress. This is not what government was supposed to do or was intended to do when this country was created, whether it be at the federal level, state level, or municipal level. This is not how the founding fathers envisioned it. Now, it says, according to Milwaukee Police Department's traffic safety plan, I love this. The Milwaukee Police Department, the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, and the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, and the state of Wisconsin Department of Justice all decided the best way to lower crime was to increase traffic stops. Yeah. Listen to this. This is, law enforcement claimed that the traffic safety plan was started because there was an increase in juvenile offenders, carjacking motorists, and drug sales out of vehicles in one single year. Listen to this. Consider that between January 1st, 2015 and May 16th, 2016, 130 juvenile offenders aged 16 or younger were arrested 2 or more times for operating automobiles without the owner's consent. Essentially car theft. Essentially car theft, yes. And 27 were arrested 4 or more times. Equally troubling has been the proliferation of rolling drug houses, in which drug activity is carried out from vehicles on Milwaukee streets. Did you catch that? So despite the fact that violent crime is at record lows across the country, law enforcement wants you to believe that there's an epidemic of rolling drug houses now. See, this is what they're doing to perpetuate their state-sanctioned theft and also their civil asset forfeiture. Because remember, they're not even talking civil asset forfeiture right now. They're just talking traffic citations. But this is a whole other area that when they stop the vehicle, do you have any cash in the vehicle this evening, sir? And instantly, boop, all of your property becomes the property of the state. And your property has to defend itself. Your inanimate property has to defend itself against the state. I mean, it's unbelievable. Civil asset forfeiture has to be the most egregious thing that's happened to us in quite some time. In quite some time. The American people, it flies in the face of everything this country stands for, yet we allow it to happen every year. Police departments across America dub it manna from heaven. Manna from heaven. Because it provides them the funding that they need to get their toys and anything else they want. Hell, a couple of, one police department out of Texas bought a margarita machine with civil asset forfeiture funds. Just saying. So these are things to be extremely concerned about, because if it's happening in Milwaukee, it's happening all over America, as I'm sure you've all experienced at some point in time when you roll up to that checkpoint and you have to ask the officer, I'm sorry, did I just drive into Nazi Germany? What, you're looking for my papers, are you? My papers, yes. Hand over your papers. This is America? Hello? When did this happen? Well, it's happened for quite some time. Folks, the problem's getting worse. And as these municipalities find it harder and harder to make ends meet, cities like Hartford, Connecticut, that is grappling with a potential bankruptcy because they can't pay their bills, they're going to resort to more and more of these tactics because they can't pass legislation to balance their budget. So they're just going to take it by force. And you're going to see this more and more across America. So I have to ask you, with things happening like this, is America truly great? Just a question to ponder. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Hashtag wake the flock up. Have a great day, everybody.